Morning, Steve in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, overnight prices are mixed with beans down and wheat up, corn about unchanged, kind of the opposite of what we did yesterday. Uh, we will not get export sales until tomorrow due to Monday's holiday. Tomorrow we're also going to be getting the big USDA report. September usually isn't that big of a deal, but I think since crop ratings have dropped during the entire month of August because of dryness and the straight line winds in Iowa, that the trade is going to be watching very closely what the USDA say is yields for both corn and beans and how that changes the carryouts. The below, let's say 51 is bullish beans. The funds are long almost 190,000 contracts, close to a record length, and they could add to the beans and we could go to $10. 52 and above is bearish, and we could actually put a top in the marketplace and go down into the harvest. For corn, 175, 176, 177, 178 yield might be considered bearish, with ethanol demand still slow. China export demand could support things, but we need something, let's say, below 175 to push D's corn over 360. At that price level yesterday, we ran into some farmers selling. A lower than that yield could make us test $4 D's corn. It kind of was interesting yesterday when one University of Illinois came out with a study talking about if we compare what we're going to plant next year, the best thing for farmers like in the southern Midwest is to plant wheat and double crop with beans. It would bring in $179 profit per acre. If you just plant corn following soybeans, it's $110 profit per acre. So I think that might go into maybe mindsets, and we might actually lose a little bit of corn acres next year to wheat and double crop beans. That could support the D21 corn contract. As far as weather is concerned, again, it's cool here in Chicago. Next week we should be warmer and drier, which should help the overall harvest activity for especially corn. Some of the beans are turning and could also be starting to see some harvest. The maps are having trouble with a tropical system that might come into the U.S. southeast. That could bring some additional rainfall to the hard red winter wheat southern plains and maybe parts of the eastern Midwest. Our weather guy doesn't necessarily agree with what the maps are doing, but we'll have to kind of see what the tropical system does. As far as otherwise, it remains dry, Europe and the Black Sea, Ukraine, but the extended models show the chances for a little bit of rain maybe in northern Europe, but not maybe a lot across southeast Europe or into parts of the Black Sea. Argentina remains dry at least through day 12 of the maps, and we'll see if there's any change in the weather patterns that might bring us some needed rains later in that time frame. So we got the USDA report tomorrow. We've got export sales tomorrow. We're watching money flow as the funds are now long everything in the grain complex. We'll watch the outside markets that has been extremely volatile in stocks, the dollar, and crude oil, and see what kind of impact that has. Still concerned about COVID-reduced demand and any news that comes out about a vaccine before the end of 2020. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day. And remember, treat people like you yourself would like to be treated.